NASA is like 1000% a satanic organization, and what I'm going to share with you is honestly going to blow your mind. When you're researching the occult origins of NASA, you're going to find this wild blend of Disney, Freemasonry, Nazi intelligence, and Satanism. Walt Disney played a massive role in brainwashing the masses into believing in space travel. And Jack Parsons, founder of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratories, was a sex magic-obsessed dark occultist, heavily into Satanism. He was deeply connected with the infamous occultist Aleister Crowley, also known as the most wickedest man alive or the Great Beast. Now, this is nothing you'll get from a NASA press release or any textbooks. However, none of this is myth, but documented historical facts. So let's break it down into two parts now about Jack Parsons, because this guy was completely erased from not only history as a whole, but NASA entirely. In a sense, he is the real founder of the American space program. He wasn't just a rocket engineer, but a Thelemite occultist, a devoted student of Aleister Crowley and a high-ranking member of Crowley's organization, the OTO, the Ordo Templi Orientis, which was, honestly, one of the most satanic groups of the last century. Now, for those that don't know who Crowley is, this is a very dark figure who has left their fingerprints on everything in our modern-day culture, from the music industry to Hollywood, and of course the very space program of NASA. Now Parsons was named the chosen successor of Crowley and literally declared himself the Antichrist, running sex magic cults, performing arcane rituals and ceremonies to summon spirits. He'd also partner with the likes of L. Ron Hubbard, notorious sci-fi author and founder of the religious cult of Scientology. Yes, the one that Tom Cruise and all those celebrities follow. And they would later conduct these rituals and had a weird sex triangle between each other and some lady friends. In short, Parsons was obsessed with many things, but more importantly was getting rocketry into space, which he saw as very spiritual in accordance to his occult beliefs. He'd later die in a mysterious explosion and be completely omitted from the historical origins of NASA. However, they'd still honor his role in their ritualistic conception by naming a moon crater after him and naming their rockets after pagan gods, Apollo, Artemis, Saturn, and so on. All right, so let's get into Walt Disney and the Nazis' role. So after World War II, which was a false event manufactured by the elite to reset the world order, the US would launch Operation Paperclip, a secret program smuggling in thousands of Nazi scientists. Their war crimes would not only be erased, but they'd be rewarded into high-ranking positions into US government-sanctioned programs such as NASA. That's something you don't learn in school. So enter Wernher von Braun, top Nazi rocket engineer under Hitler himself, suddenly rebranded as America's golden boy space pioneer. What does Wernher von Braun do, right? He partners with Walt Disney, the man shaping the imagination of entire generations and future generations to come, and sell the idea of space travel. Now, before this propaganda campaign, the average person didn't even fathom the idea of space travel. They would use cartoons and documentaries to create their script for a new religion, space worship. And then this would create future propaganda films such as Star Trek, A Space Odyssey, Star Wars, Marvel, all the same propaganda to reinforce the same lie that you are a cosmic accident, Earth is meaningless, and space is your new god. Funny enough, Wernher von Braun's cemetery is actually in the city I grew up in, and it's interesting he has a specific verse on his tombstone. Psalms 19:1, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Yeah, there's nothing to see there, I'm sure. Look, the truth is always hidden in plain sight for those with eyes to see, folks. And once you realize that space travel and NASA itself was born from black magicians, high-level occultists, Nazis and Freemasons sworn to secret oaths, you start to see what this is really all about, to disconnect man from God. And when you go deep enough down that rabbit hole and start to pull the thread on all these secretive Masonic orators and Kabbalistic cartels, you find that same goal. It is imperative to their power structure that we, the people, be deceived and never learn the truth about the current deception taking place, which is obviously contrary to the laws of nature and the Most High. To them, the masses must be deceived with every facet of reality, starting with the very ground they walk upon. You can lead a sheep to water, but you can't make it think. This message is for entertainment purposes.